one thing I did want to mention, what is really, really annoying me at the minute is our fans at half time. I don't know if you heard as well, Luke. Half time, our fans were 0-0 against fourth in the league. Our fans are booing our players off. Like, what? Booing our players off. Cairo Mitchell as well. Cairo Mitchell is going through a really hard time at the minute. He's a confidence player. Obviously, he's not scored in a while. And we've brought in Jay Birds, obviously, on loan, another striker from Exeter. But with Jay Birds, we're having to manage his game time because he's just come back from injury. He's obviously not played many games for Exeter. So he is a little bit rusty. He obviously started a game against Altrincham. So we're rotating Cairo Mitchell. But what I cannot stand at the minute from our fans, it's like a witching hunt against him. Anything he does, Cairo Mitchell, everyone's on at him. Everyone's on at him. And this is considering he's our highest goal scorer this season. If we didn't have the goals that he scored, I think I saw a stat. I'm sure we'd be either 18th or 19th in the league without Cairo Mitchell's goals. But we are suddenly on this witch hunt for him. These fans, and once Cairo Mitchell got substituted, our fans in the stand I sit were cheering for him to go off, which I find absolutely disgusting. Yeah, he's going through a bad run of form at the minute, and it's just really grating on me. It really is frustrating me. And something I wanted to mention as well, Taryn Alarakia has had a lot of stick recently from our fans, to the point where some of our fans are actually calling him overweight, putting a filter on his pictures, like a fat filter, saying he's overweight, which he is not. He is far from it. Yeah, he went through a little bit of a stage where he didn't really perform to what he was doing at the beginning of the season. But in Taryn's defence, he has been played a lot of minutes. Like at the start when we had so many injuries, Taryn was playing literally every game. He wasn't getting a break. He is not playing in the right position. Like his position is a winger further forward. He's playing as a wing back. So it's a new position he's adapting to. Yeah, he's doing well at it. Fair play to the guy. But when our fans are getting personal with these players, it's an absolute joke. I get we pay money to support our team. I get I'm the kind of person, I respect people, and I think fans should be able to call out players' performances, teams' performances when they're not performing on the pitch. But I think nobody ever has the right to get personal with a player to the point where it's like a witch hunt, and to the point where you are physically abusing and verbally abusing somebody, calling out the way they look, calling out their weight. Yeah, Taryn has obviously, he's done something about it. And he actually, when he scored on Saturday against Altrincham, it went like a celebration to his belly, calling it out, like, yeah, kind of thing. And he did the same again, obviously, on Tuesday. But it's getting to the point now where I don't get why people think they can do this to people. Footballers are human beings as well. Like, yeah, call out a performance, call out somebody when they're not performing. Like, we all have the right to. We're all entitled to our opinions, but don't get personal, to the point where I genuinely felt sorry. I felt sorry for Taryn anyway, but Cairo Mitchell, like when you're cheering your leading goal scorer off because he's being substituted, like, get a grip. Everyone goes through bad form. It just really, really grates me. I'm sorry for my rant, but it got to the point where it's pathetic. You're booing your team at half time because they're 0-0 against fourth in the league. You then cheer off your striker who scored the most goals this season, kept you in this position. We're 10th, yeah. We should do better in some games. Yeah, we should have won some games, which we haven't. We've dropped points, but we're 10th with games in hand. Just get a grip. Like, seriously, get a grip. And I know people will come at me at Twitter for this, and I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I'm not the type of person who will belittle someone's appearance or make someone feel so small. Like, these people have feelings as well. Do you not think these are the type of players as well? A few seasons ago, when we were in relegation, people from League Two, people were like, get all the bad apples out of the club. I don't care if we play for young lads, as long as we have people who care for the club. Cairo Mitchell last season was one of them players who was doing his best for the club, who maybe thought he wasn't going to get paid because we were moments away from going into liquidation. Let's have this right. He still fought for the club, wore that shirt week in, week out, scored goals last season. He's doing the same this season. But we're going to clap him when he goes off, as in, like, sarcastically. I'm sorry, but no. He's out of contract as well this season. And if I was Cairo, that would make me think he's from down south as well. He could get a move closer to home. If I was Cairo, I'd reassess my choices right now and think these fans don't appreciate me. And it's not all the fans, but have some respect for him. Have some respect.
It's crazy the fact that it's crazy to think that some people, when you say who do you support, and they'll say I'm a Rochdale supporter, and you're like, that word supporter, of course, as you said, it gives you the right to have your opinion on, and everyone's got their favorite players or someone and can have a comment, but ultimately you're supporting the team. So, like, what benefit is it? As you said, the Cairo Mitchell thing, this almost seems to me like that because the expectations have risen because of what level he can achieve. I've seen it happen with other people, with other players. They think every week he's going to be a 10 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. That doesn't happen. There's very rare few players through any of the leagues that put those kind of figures together all the time. And people have those. And that's when they need the support of your team to go, do you know what? I know, because you look at the numbers, look at what's proven. You know there's a player there. It's just something's kind of not going right. So you said, what's that going to achieve? You're just going to hit his confidence more, which means you're more likely 100%. To see a bad performance out of him next week than you are the week after. And it's fine. You might not like what he does, some of the things as a player or whatever, but to boo off and to clap someone off that's been substituted, you're like, how's that? Yeah, how's he going to feel coming back next week when you want him to perform next week, but you haven't supported him to give him that sort of feeling? And it's just, and as you said, with the sort of almost fat shaming, it's ridiculous. Like,
with Taryn, honestly, it's ridiculous.
It's mad because people have, and footballers have different body shapes and stuff works in different ways in terms of how they are. And again, scored a couple of goals in sort of recent weeks, where it could be vital for your season. And those people will be the ones that maybe go to Wembley off the back of his performances that have been there sort of having a go because of his weight. It's not right. So we love the podcast and we love because we can give opinions. We give opinions on players and sometimes we're critical, but always try to be constructive about it. But that's someone's physical appearance for anything, but like something like that is just, to the fact that he has to sort of point it out sort of as a celebration is just, I don't know sometimes who some of these supporters think they are to kind of make those comments. Like, how would they feel if someone came into them and said, well, yeah, you're too fat to do your job? That's ridiculous. Like, it's a joke, not just in a physical sports sense, but in any kind of way of life. It's pathetic.
It really grates on me, and I've said it week in, week out. Like, point out criticism, but I don't get why we are so entitled. We are Rochdale. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we've got a billionaire owner. People have took over us. We've not actually spent a penny on a player this season. They want to get us financially stable, and they want to get to a point where they can they want to like invest in other things as well, like training facilities, the bigger picture. Like they want to do it properly. I do not get the entitlement from our fans. Like, we're Rochdale. Yeah, we play good football. It's like the sack Jim McNulty. Wrong manager, wrong this. Yeah, you might not like his style of play. Yeah, I've been to games and sometimes I find it really boring, some games. But that's football. You have really good games. You have really rubbish games. But at the end of the day, who are we going to get? Like, I'd love to know. I've got people on my timeline, get Keith Hill back. years ago did we have Keith Hill? Do you really think we are going to progress with Keith Hill? I love the guy to death. He's our best manager in history. I love him to death. But I'm sorry, no. Like, I don't get who these fans think they are and who we are. It just really grates on me. But I just wanted to come on and kind of have my say on, because obviously I've got the platform for the Alarakia and Cairo Mitchell situation, because these are two people, along with the rest of this team. I cannot come on here and say one of our players do not play for the badge, because every single person plays for the badge, whether obviously sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes they have bad games, it's life at the end of the day. But people need to remember as well that these people are human beings. You don't know what kind of effect it has on them, but also you don't know what these people are going through. Like, footballers still have problems like all of us. Maybe something is, I'm not saying it is, by the way, maybe something is at the minute affecting one of these players or any of the players, like in any of these squads. But what I don't like is the fact that people can come out and feel like they, even though they are a fan, can come out and personally attack these players. That's one thing that I do not agree with whatsoever. Like, say they've had a bad game, say that someone's played like bad. I'm all for that. You pay your money, you're entitled to criticize the performance, but don't personally attack someone, because I just think it's disgusting. I really, really do.
But you find a lot of time as well with some fans, and it's not like you said, it's not all fans. It's only a small group, but you find that small group are jealous as well of what that player is doing, or they never got to the position where they are, but that player
100%.
has.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it sometimes is jealousy as well. They don't like to see certain players or certain people doing well for themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen it so many times, because I cover from step 7 down to step 11 on my channel, and yeah, you see it with some there, and a lot of them are youngsters as well that play, and the abuse they get, it's just, there's no need for it.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah,
no need for it at all.
It's just awful. But yeah, I just wanted to call that out, because it just got to a point where it really grated on me. But for someone, and I fully admit, there's been times recently where he's not been playing well, to be fair to him. Like, he's been playing and he's not been playing well, but he's not been not trying. It's just not been happening for him. It's just in a bit of a bad patch at the minute. Like, it's just not happening for him. But he's our leading goal scorer at the end of the day. So you take away them goals he scored, and there's people saying, Cairo Mitchell is useless, is this, is that. No, he's not. He's really not. Like, it just really gets on my nerves.
Every play hits a bad patch.
Yeah,
100%.
You're not going to go through a season and have a player that is good every single game. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If they did, and if they were at it every single week, they wouldn't be playing at this level. That's the thing. Like, look at Mo Salah. Like last night, I think that's probably his first bad game he's had for a long time. But the reason he stays at that level is because he's consistent week in, week out. Every player, from below, probably even like the bottom half of the Premier League, all the way down, through the leagues to non-league football, they will hit a bad patch at some point during the season. Obviously, you mentioned about the entitlement. Obviously, look, it could take a few years for Rochdale to get out of the National League. There's no guarantee of them getting out just because they've now got a new owner in charge. That's the thing. It's
exactly.
I mean, there's no question about it. Rochdale will get back into the Football League. It will happen, but it may not happen now. It might take a few years for it to build up, and that you've got to build, a squad very slowly. That's going to need to keep a good core of players. Like, it's a hard division to get over, unless you've got the luxury of a Forest Green owner and can throw money at it, everything. Because I think now Rochdale need to be sustainable, because not being sustainable means they go out of business. And obviously we nearly saw that last season. So
exactly.
That's the thing I'd be looking at. I think, look, they should be grateful that they've still got football clubs to go and watch. And
that's what frustrates me. Yeah.
And the fact they're even in this position right now, to be just outside players with still games in hand as well. There's still a big chance they can get in the playoff places. I really don't understand the frustration. Like you say, to be 0-0 at half time against a side that have been absolutely fantastic to watch this season in Gateshead, I'd be a bit embarrassed.
Exactly. Honestly, I was absolutely fuming that they were booing. Like, this was before that whole thing happened with Cairo. I was absolutely fuming. It was like, why? It wasn't even the fact that we played bad. It wasn't even the fact of that. Yeah, we couldn't score. Don't get me wrong. We had our chances. We couldn't score. But I thought we actually played decent against Gateshead. I know Gateshead, like Luke said, were very fatigued and tired. But I really enjoyed our performance. I thought we actually played really well and controlled the game. Our midfield were absolutely brilliant. Harvey Gilmore, I don't know how he didn't win man of the match, to be fair. It was actually Ryan East, our other midfielder. How Harvey Gilmore didn't win man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant in midfield. But yeah, it's a sense of entitlement what does really great on me. But what actually annoys me as well is the fact, say that we did have a chance of going to Wembley, we got to the playoffs and we somehow went up. It's not going to happen. We're going to come straight back down again. Like, it's too soon. We need to stabilise ourselves. And I know people are getting ahead of ourselves. And a lot of these fans, this is what gets me as well. A lot of these fans, we've only seen, apart from the couple of seasons we've had the bad times, they've only really seen it under Keith Hill and those luxury moments. They've not really seen before Keith Hill and how bad we were at one point as well. Like, and the surviving and the being in League Two and things like that. They've only ever seen like the luxury moments. And I think that's why this bit of entitlement comes from, and the fact that they think we're this really big club, when in reality, this is our level at the moment. We need to kind of find our level and come to grips with the fact that, yes, we were a League Two, League One team. League One, we were punching. League Two, yeah, we were a League One team. We were for several years. Everyone used to call it the Rochdale Division. But just be lucky that we've got a team and we're actually winning games in National League. We're actually competing. We've only got this, everyone. We've got Liam Hogan, who's 36, Ian Henderson, who's 40. Everyone else is under the age of 30. We've got quite a young team, obviously, apart from Ebanks Landell, but he's not played all season, our captain. But we've got a very, very young team. And a lot of these players have actually come from down south. So that's one thing we haven't had in a very long time. Like, we're actually attracting players like from down south and things. And that's massive for us because we've never really had that. And I just think we need to kind of, it's not all fans, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of, I'd say it's more fans and I'd say it's majority fans that are kind of getting the back up now and hating on Cairo and kind of thinking we're better than what we are, kind of thing. So I think we just need a little bit of a reality check.
Yeah.
I hope they're listening to this and they kind of see it as well.